And in study 5, which is a coming up study, I plan to evaluate a non-pharmacological intervention in improving its effectiveness in improving both depression and cognition in controlling older adults. So we will start with a brief background first. With the greater access to healthcare, lower birth rate, pretty much the aging profile poses a major epidemiological challenges in specific areas, for instance, Singapore. And a better way to examine it is to visually examine the population structure here. As you can see here in the first round, around 20 years ago in 2003, most of the people live in their early adulthood. And the narrow top indicate a fewer population in living in their elderly in 2003. However, after 20 years from that, in 2023, we observed a noticeable shift in this pyramid, with a broader population now entering in their mid-adulthood, while the initial narrow top are also expanding. Based on the Singapore Department of Statistics, however, they estimated that by 2 decades from now, almost half of the Singapore population will be aged 6 years and above, pretty much resulting in an aging society. So this strikes the significance of healthy aging to mitigate the increased age-related burden. To research aging, we pretty much need a reliable way to quantify what the aging is. And to understand the epigenetic aging, we'll start with a brief review of with the CPG islands. So across our human genome, there are around 29,000 CPG islands. And these CPG islands are found in or near, usually near or near promoter regions with clusters of CPGs. And the methylation level at these CPG islands are usually on average are, say, hypomethylated. The methylation level is quite low to facilitate the transcription. However, the epigenetic modification in recent years is identified as one primary hallmark of aging by advanced neuroscience. The most studied topic here is probably the DNA methylation, which often involved another common group on the cytosine to form methylcytosine. And basically, when methylated in the CPG islands, the chain transcriptions is often silenced. Some prior evidence have shown that age itself is possibly correlated with increased methylation at these CPG islands. Conversely, advanced chronological age is negatively correlated with the global methylation pattern loss. So these actually reflected a complicated biological picture and have been leveraged to develop different epigenetic clocks. And there are basically 4 different conceptual steps. A list of age-associated CPGs were shortlisted and basically regress on either mortality or chronological age using the machine learning model, oftentimes nowadays with bio and clinical markers adjusted. And once they're passing the validation, they essentially become the epigenetic clocks we analyze in the studies. In recent years, both anxiety and depression, the prevalence of both anxiety and depression has risen sharply. The latest meta-analysis revealed that around 1 in every 4 older adults now experience these conditions. In Singapore, it is around almost 1 in every 10 older Singaporean adults experience adversities. So depression in particular is identified as the second leading contributor to global health burden by WHO. Both of these adversities have been strongly linked to increased frailty, cardiovascular disease, immune aging, and increased mortality. And in the meantime, depression is also concomitantly identified as a modifiable risk factor of dementia, Currently, over 55 million of people living with dementia, with its prevalence estimated to triple in the next decade. Pretty much identifying the upstream effector is very essential, is important. Cognition as an ability allow us to learn, understand, adapt is pretty much a multidimensional component. Many of its components, such as memory and language, are very vulnerable to aging.